Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Nazir page 59, which quotes a verse in which is somewhat of a difficult topic, namely the issue that the Torah has a man wearing women's clothing and a woman wearing men's clothing. So the notion behind this and the issue at hand that the Torah considers is not limited to a man wearing women's clothing, but doing things in which women generally do. So it used to be in the times of the Talmud that women would shave not their hair, but the rest of their body. Any hair that's on their body, they shave. And therefore the Talmud discusses whether or not it's an issue for a man to shave certain parts of their body, including, for example, under their arms, for one, if that is a way in which he is demonstrating the ways that of a woman. And not only that, it used to be looking at into a mirror for an extended period of time was a sign of vanity and specifically geared toward women. And therefore, it's questionable whether a man actually can look into a mirror. But the Talmud here tells us that the whole issue is only if you're doing this to beautify yourself. However, if the reason why you're looking in a mirror, or let's say removing hairs, is because those extra hairs, they're grown very long and they're uncomfortable, or they cause you pain or discomfort of sorts, so then you are allowed to remove them. The whole prohibition is only if you're doing it to try to look more feminine. But if you're doing it in order just to be able to feel more comfortable and less pain, you're allowed to, which is why you can look into a mirror if you are cutting your own hair, if you're shaving your beard, for example, because you're not doing it to beautify yourself, so to speak, but rather the purpose is in order that you don't harm yourself, that you don't cut yourself while you're using these sharp scissors on your hair. Now, what's most fascinating is that the Talmud picks up on a specific language that's found in the Torah. The Torah tells us that a person who does this, it's considered to be in Hebrew a to'eva, namely an abomination. Now, that is a very, very strong, harsh language, and therefore the Talmud wonders, why is it that just because a man is wearing a woman's shirt, for example, why is that considered to be an abomination? On this, the Talmud says that the whole reason why it would be an abomination is not just because he enjoys wearing a woman's pajamas, for example, but the problem is, as the Talmud says, v'yeshev ben hanashim, that the reason why this man is wearing women's clothing, why he's shaving these parts of his body, why he's beautifying himself, is in order to be able to sit among women. Namely, he wants people to identify him as female. Even though he is a biologically born man, he was born as a man, but by dressing like a woman and acting like a woman, speaking like a woman, doing all these different things, then all of a sudden you can now sit and mingle among other women. So therefore, it becomes almost hard for people to even know whether or not you're a man or you're a woman because of the way you're doing this, which of course extends itself to what's been going on in the society, that there is this tension exactly how to address these types of issues, where you have a person who is a biological male who, for example, in sport, wishes to become a female, and maybe they wanted to become a female anyway, but it turns out they may have been a pretty decent athlete, a pretty decent runner, a pretty decent swimmer, and all of a sudden, now that they identify as a woman, and they are yeshe ben hanashim, they're sitting among women, all of a sudden, they become in first place and crush all these different points. So in this, the Talmud, not me, but me quoting the Talmud, it's an abomination. An abomination because it goes against the very nature of who we are as people. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. And therefore the Talmud tells us, as well as the Torah, that we have to be very, very careful to make sure that if someone acts in a different way, that person is labeled as a to'eva, an abomination.